Hello, I'm Rebecca and welcome to Masterful Chats. And I'd like to say hello and welcome back to all of my wonderful subscribers. And hello and welcome to those of you who are viewing me for the very first time. Masterful Chats are short, clear, concise, clarifying conversations designed to uplift, empower, inspire, and support you as you move forward along your spiritual path and in your life's journey. And today's chat is about, are these really the end of times? Is this really Armageddon? There are an awful lot of people in different institutions and on different podcasts and in various types of media that are foretelling the end of days. But first, for those of you who are viewing me for the very first time, I would like to tell you a little bit about myself. I am an information synthesizer, a mystical scholar, and an intuitive. And from my near-death experience, I know that each one of us is a beloved child of the Creator. We are known individually, and we are loved completely, totally, and beyond measure. And if you hear a mew in the background, it is Henry making his appearance. So I apologize if it's distracting, but this is his house, not mine. And I would like to take a moment also for those of you who are watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. I really appreciate everything you do, and it does help the channel grow. We're now over 100 subscribers, and I'm literally thrilled. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. So now, let's chat about the end of times. There are many sources in the world, many individuals, many institutions that have foretold the end of times. In the 1950s into the 60s, after World War II, and moving on up into the early 90s, there was a real threat to mankind and the earth. Both the United States of America and the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics had huge nuclear arsenals. And that is what is referred to as the Cold War. And at the push of a button, the entire planet and all life form, more than likely, would have been obliterated. In 1987, there occurred the harmonic convergence. And although most people on Earth were unaware of what this event was and when it took place, it was for lack of a better term, a vote of all those individuals incarnated on the Earth, as well as those individuals that would be coming in during these times, as to whether they would choose to ascend or whether they would choose to have the earth end in Armageddon. Well, luckily for those of us still on the planet, the vote was 51% to 49%. When I heard that at the time, I thought, oh no, it was much, much higher. Now, looking out at the chaos in the world and observing it, I believe that. I believe that it was 51 to 49. But regardless of the tight vote, the earth and its inhabitants were destined to ascend. So in the early 1990s, the USSR basically fell apart and the Cold War ended. After the Cold War ended, there were prophecies within the Western religious community about Armageddon, the end of times, the rapture, all based on biblical texts. And a lot of people and a lot of institutions have made quite a bit of money off of this. The one way to know if the message is truly of the Creator, if it's based in love, if it's making you fearful, afraid, less than, it's definitely not the Creator speaking to you. It's man-made. Religions can be wonderful ways to find God and to merge with God and to increase our spiritual well-being and our calling. However, a lot of organized religions do their best to keep people afraid and in line. The idea that we, Christed beings, with a part of God within us, need an intermediary to speak with God and to know God could not be further from the truth. We are all Christed, sovereign beings, and we can speak directly with our Creator. The world, as we know it, is ending. And by that I mean what we are currently seeing as more and more light comes in on the planet is all of the lower consciousness, all of the lower energy vibrations being pushed to the surface. We're seeing all the fear and all of the isms, the sexism, the racism, the misogyny. All of these things are being pushed to the surface to be brought to the light and to be healed. And it isn't pretty, and there's an awful lot of chaos, but that is the third dimension that you are seeing up front, live, and in color. There is no integrity. There is no honesty. There is no love. 3D is based on fear, domination, and control, and cruelty. That world, the third dimensional world, is ending. And for people and individuals and institutions who are deeply invested in the patriarchy and not the divine masculine, I'm talking about the patriarchy as a structure, as a means to control, as a means to limit the rights and well-being of others. We're seeing that structure, that system, and the people who are deeply invested in it retaliate, resist, and attempt to turn back the clock. So the third dimension is, in fact, going to die as we all ascend into the fifth dimension, where the fifth dimension is co-creation, well-being, integrity, love, abundance for all. Chaos is a normal part of the creative process. And this is what we are seeing right now within the world. Do you remember the Armageddon themes prior to 2000, the year 2000? And once again at 2012? Now you can find podcasts declaring, we're going to have major cataclysms later this year. There will be some weather events and things that do happen, but the earth and humanity are going to continue to ascend. This is all part of the process. This is what each one of us agreed to when we were here. And everything that is happening, as difficult as it can be on the heart, is happening to occur for our greatest and highest good. We are in the millennium of the 2000, and 2 represents the feminine. And when we arrived at 2020, that created a 4. 4 is structure. It is how things are built. And in 2020, the amount of chaos and noise increased exponentially. And now we are in 2024, which is an 8. And an 8 connects the physical with the spiritual. It also represents the infinity symbol. And we are going to be encouraged as a species to connect more with the divine part of ourselves, to bring heaven to earth in more tangible ways, to decrease the amount of separation, which is an illusion, because we are all connected energetically and spiritually. There really is no other. We are all children of the Creator. We all carry a divine spark within us, and we are all loved equally. So there really is no other, and there is no enemy. Those are terms that have been created by the third dimensional patriarchy to keep us separate and to keep us fighting. Because if we're doing that, then we're not watching them. There has been a steady feed from media across the spectrum that nourishes and promotes the us against them mentality. We all have opinions. We all have filters. We all have boxes of beliefs. But when people are targeted according to their skin color or their sexual orientation or their religious beliefs and made out to be the enemy, that is the third dimension in full glory. If someone is telling you that there's going to be a cataclysmic event on earth and it's all going to be over, if someone is telling you to be very, very afraid, if someone is telling you to hate your neighbor or hate someone on the other side of town or in a different country, I would ask you to stand back and think to yourself, what is in it for them? Because that message or those messages are not of our Creator. There will be no Armageddon on the planet. We agreed to that over 35 years ago. But the patriarchy and the third dimension is dying. And people who are in fear and who are unaware and unawake are screaming at the top of their lungs. It is time for each one of us to decide what kind of a world we want to live in. Do we want a world that works for everyone or just for a few? And there are a lot of people, it doesn't matter what body you're in, whether you're male or female, who are deeply invested in the current systems. They've been very good to them. And giving up potential or perceived control is difficult and challenging, and they are frightened. But a world that works for everyone is what we are here to create. So, once again, it all comes back to you. Focus on the joy and the love and the laughter in your life. Focus on things that you can control, not on what you can't control. Be discerning. If someone is putting out a message in bright lights and draconian terms and really glitzy, but you're feeling really, really crummy in your energetic field, listening to them, or you get afraid, stop, turn it off, and refocus and ask yourself the questions. What is in it for them? We need to be very aware of the energetics that we're allowing in our systems and where we are placing our focus. Focus on the good in your life. Focus on the beauty and the love, not on Armageddon and destruction. If you want to focus there, that's your choice, and that's okay. But if you want to be happy, I would suggest not. But please take care of yourself and know that you are very, very loved, and that our Creator only wants what's best for you and everyone else. And that will occur by co-creation and cooperation and love, not from fear. Thank you for being with me today for this Masterful Chat. Please like, share, subscribe, donate, hit the notification bell, wherever you're at in the world. Until we chat again, blessings.